Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai. We do this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8 o'clock. Tonight we're a little late because the internet's been so slow here on the island. I'm Lama Tashi, and when we do these classes in the Tibetan tradition, we use many different approaches and methods. But basically, all of the Lamanist teachings are based on Hinayana approach, which is similar to Hinduism, Taoism, and other religions for healing. And then Mahayana, which is the theme of Tibetan Buddhism, that everything we do is for everybody else, and everything is interconnected. And that sets up an energy field of no limits. We say infinite proportions. Then we move with the Mahayana practices using Sutra and Tantric meditation practices and yoga. And finally, we merge with the mind of the Lama in what we call the yanas of the Lama's mind, which is the all-pervasive state of the teacher, the deities, which is the mind of the teacher in a state of bliss and voidness, and then the Nirmanakaya vehicle, which is those two working in the teacher, man or woman, with loving kindness, compassion, power, and insight, being transmitted to our individually and collectively to our body, speech, and mind. When your body, speech, and mind is assembled in the same place, that's the most effective. And that's why we use so many techniques that involve not only focus, single pointed concentration, but also the use of the imagination with symbols and color codes and many, many other approaches. Tonight we're going to start with the Refuge Prayer and the Altruistic Motivation Prayer, which is on the front of your Dharma sheet, if you have this. And the motivation that everything we do is for everybody else and our environment is unique in Tibetan Buddhism. Specifically, it means no one left out. No human, no animal, no spirit. And these three categories are called sentient beings. And that's all of it. So I'm going to read chant the altruistic motivation, then we'll do the refuge prayer together and the Bodhisattva prayer. In order to bring myself and all sentient beings, our mothers, to understand their true nature, we now all together take refuge and offer prostrations. And I'm going to chant that in Sanskrit. Dag dang drowa namke ta dang yampe sem chen dam che du di ne jung te ji si chen chu ning po la chi ki bar du. Then we'll do the Refuge Prayer and the Bodhisattva Prayer in Sanskrit, then in English. Alden Lama Dampa Namla Chapsu Chio Yedam Chokor Gilatso Namla Chapsu Chio Sanjay Chom Dende Namla Chapsu Chio Jampe Chur Namla Chapsu Chio Salve Gandu Namla Chapsu Chio Jampe Chur Namla Chapsu Chio Kao Kandro Shokyo Sukme Sho Yeshe Ki Shendang Dempa Nam La Chapsu Chio. Then the Bodhisattva Prayer. Sanjay Chodon Choki Chodnam La Chengchu Bardu Dagdi Chapsu Chi Dagi Jinso Chi Pe Sonam Ki Drola Danger Sanjay Jupar Sho. The Refuge Prayer, which is the 6 supports of all the Sutra and Tantra tradition of shamanistic Lamaism, we'll say in English. We go for refuge to all glorious holy Lama. We go for refuge to all the idams, the deities gathered in our mandala practice. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of Dharma. All of these possess the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this supreme assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit gained from practicing the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. When we do prostrations, which is part of the altruistic motivation, it is what is called one of the 4 foundation practices that support all the Mahayana Sutra and Tantra deity yoga practice. And I'm saying that because it strengthens the deity yoga to do the prostrations with the refuge tree in front and saying the refuge prayer, where you're laying down in a full prostration and standing up. And even if you can't perform the prostration, you could do this mentally. This is where the imagination is so important. So you would say the prayer, visualize the Kagyu refuge tree in front, and then imagine yourself laying down and standing up, where you say, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, the Lamas, deities, and protectors, in order to bring myself and all being to Buddhahood. So that is a full support for Chenrezig, Tara. Tonight we're going to use the combination of those 2 with the Vajrasattva practice. And the Vajrasattva practice is actually the 2nd foundation practice to support all deity, yoga, and meditation. And it's set up so that you bring the male and female deity together to represent all of the deities, male and female, in such a way as to purify all the negative tendencies you've created in past lives that are following you to this life, up to the present time. So that's the real purpose of Vajrasattva. That purification takes away the hindrances to meditation and yoga practice, and eliminates obstacles on the what we call the relative worldly level. So very important. The other 2 practices are making mandala offerings, which is another form of healing for good health and wealth. And the 4th practice is what all of the practices are, Guru Yoga. So all of this is connecting to the mind of the teacher, who holds the lineage that goes back all the way unbroken to Shakyamuni Buddha 2,600 years ago, and how it was presented throughout India, Tibet, and all the Himalayan countries. Before we do the Vajrasattva practice, we're going to do the 3 lights meditation. This is actually a Hinayana practice, but very powerful for creating good health in the individual practitioner or in the group using this method, along with the 5 elements healing practice, which was used throughout Tibet and was transmitted from the tradition of Kuan Yin in China to the Tibetan teachers. And that's called the old method, the ancient method, or Bon Po in Tibetan. And my teacher, who was raised as a Bon Po healer with his mother and father being in that tradition, Kala Rinpoche, taught us this 3 lights meditation and 5 elements practice so that we could strengthen the practices of the deity yoga used in the sutra and the tantric practice method. So we'll start with the 3 lights, and then we'll evolve into the 5 elements. And then from that, we'll move into the Mahayana practice, Vajrayana practice of Vajrasattva Vajrayogini, purification practice. Sit with your back straight, your head slightly tilted forward, your eyes open to the space in front, mouth closed, tongue resting against the palate, hands in a comfortable position on the knees or in the lap. Then bring your focus to your breath. Inhale, the diaphragm expands. Exhale, it contracts. All spontaneous. But when you put your awareness on this practice that keeps you alive, breathing, it strengthens the result. Now with your focus trained on the breathing, then start the 3 lights prana yoga practice. Simply imagine that the air you're taking in with your inhale fills your lungs. And the air, of course, contains all 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. The second part of this breathing technique is the middle breath, called the absorption breath, where the body spontaneously takes the air and generates energy through every cell in your body. And when you do that, you visualize red light flashing through your body. And it's okay to pause at this second juncture of breathing, called the absorption breath. Then you take these 2 lights together and inhale blue light out your nose, which is a powerful result, and it becomes a healing breath to all the beings throughout space. Inhale white light, visualize it filling your lungs. The absorption breath is the middle light flashing through your body. Bring these 2 together to exhale blue light out your nose to space. It's recommended to do about 20 of these breaths to create a good foundation for the 5 element healing practice. So we'll do that. This three lights practice causes you to detach from worldly activities of the day through your focus and imagination working together, and at the same time causes you to settle into a state of, we say, peace and tranquility, calm abiding, sunyata. From this becomes the basis for the 5 elements healing practice. To start the practice, take the 3 lights you used in the breathing practice together. Take your focus off your breath. Gather the 3 lights into a tiny particle in the center of your chest, creating what is called a bindu or tigli, which we call the heart chakra or heart-mind chakra energy center. In performing this coming together of the 3 lights as a tiny particle of light centered in your central channel of your life force, in the center of your body, you're actually connecting to the radiant light of the infinite fabric of space. And space and light are the nature of everything that you think of and that appears in our world, in our universe. So simply be present and relax in that totality. Space. This is the nature of everything. It exists and inseparable from the other 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. Now you are ready to start the 5 elements practice. Again, focus on the particle in your heart chakra. With your imagination expanded to a small sphere of clear light. Then keep expanding that sphere until it forms one of the 5 elements that you are going to use for your healing session. And tonight I'm choosing the element space, which is visualized as a small white sphere about the size of your thumbnail in the center of your heart chakra. That symbol is labeled space. It actually represents the totality of everything. Then start the practice by visualizing that small white sphere to move out in front of your body and up before your eyes about 2 feet in front. Visualize or see it there. Your third eye, located here, is a symbol of your imaginary mental process. Then with your imagination and focus working together, expand that sphere of white light to completely enclose your body. Maybe 6 to 10 feet out from your reach. This brings the full psychic energy program into your physical form, emphasizing the element space. It is called the mother element. Then expand it with your imagination in size to completely enclose a large area of where you're doing your practice. Here in Hawaii, we imagine the island of Kauai enclosed in much of the surrounding ocean inside this white sphere. And increasing the boundary and potential of this healing practice, imagine the sphere to grow in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere. At this point, the element space being imagined is actually happening. The imagination and actualizing have come together. Then expanded in size to completely enclose our solar system, planets and sun, everything for billions of miles in diameter inside. Expanded in size to completely enclose our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. Then move beyond the confines of your rational mind and think or visualize this symbol merges with boundless space. Relax and be present and simply contemplate space. The word contemplate means to take it to heart or be it. Then return from this dimension of being into our three-dimensional totality by imagining the symbol of space enclosing our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. Shrink it in size to just enclosing the solar system. Smaller and smaller to just enclosing Mother Earth. Then again to enclose the town, city, island, or large area of where you are practicing. Then concentrate this to just visualizing the symbol enclosing your physical body, just as you are. The life support of our world now focused entirely into your physical situation. This greatly enhances healing in your present situation, your present condition. Then finish the practice by imagining all of this space energy to again appear in the small original form of the symbol, 2 feet in front of your eye. Healing takes place both through actualizing and imagining. Bring it to chest level and into your heart chakra, heart mind. Reduce it in size to a tiny particle. And allow that to merge with the infinite light of boundless space and relax. No meditations. Simply be present. Moment to moment presence. Then end the practice by bringing your awareness to in front of your eyes and spread it into your area of practice and dedicate the merit of this to all sentient beings. This 5 elements healing practice which was used in India and Tibet, China, and other countries, actually was culturally used by all the tribes of the planet in some way, shape, or form in their connection with the natural world, which is greatly dissipated in our modern age. But everything in nature is color-coded. And these codes do things to our sensual perceptions of what's taking place and also to our mental awareness. So when we use these 5 elements, fire, earth, space, air, water, they're all interconnected. It's like when you eat food, the elements in the food are those 5 elements. The air you breathe are the 5 elements, the water you drink, and so forth. But more than that, they do things internally to the structure of your awareness. Now, everybody has awareness. And the awareness that we have is about what we are sensing and thinking about. And that's called relative awareness. But in the mind's nature and in your body's makeup is also wisdom awareness. It's something like explaining that women are more intuitive than men. Well, that intuition or that ability that women have is a gift for being a woman in charge of what we call the birth process of how we get onto this planet. And so when we talk of awareness on that level, we move from relative awareness into unlimited or unconditional awareness. And in our form of practice, just like with the 5 elements, we have 5 apps, 5 applications. If you develop one of these apps, you spontaneously move it, the other 5 merge because they really can't be separate. But it takes some people longer with one element or all 5 than others because of their previous lives, conditioning and practices and tendency that follow us like a shadow from one life to the next. For instance, when we leave this body, we move into the world of the spirits. Now, these 5 states of awareness are simply stated. The first one is how we did the refuge. It states that everything is interconnected. In other words, we're doing that to bring all sentient beings, infinite in number, to all realize their true nature and be free of pain and suffering. That's the motivation and purpose. But that field or energy field of interconnectedness is inherent in the deity practices that we do, and they are to be not only imagined but also activated. And this is what we call purifying, or removing the negative and stressing positive. So that state of interconnectedness is the absolute truth of the situation we all find ourselves in. The second one is using that we have to have some action to, like meditation, yoga practice, as I mentioned before, prostrations and so forth, to move us quickly into these higher states of intelligence called awareness. That's Bodhisattva Training School. Welcome to Bodhisattva Training School. And that is based on this green sphere symbol. The white sphere is all about clarity, being clear of judgment and emotionality, but also knowing how to use that skillfully to alleviate the pain and suffering of others, which is what Buddhism is all about. The fourth application is to understand that everything is equal. And this takes away the idea that there's a supreme and supernatural situation that is occurring, or that is favorable, or that everything is inferior, less than. So your judgment call there lacks equality, but it also is disturbing with your emotions. So anger arises, jealousy arises. If you like something, attachment arises, desire. If you have aversion to something that you're sensing or thinking about, then anger, hatred. So this state of equanimity purifies these negative tendencies, and at the same time, less and less physical, mental, emotional, spiritual pain and suffering. And the fifth level of awareness application is discerning that your unconditional mind, lacking judgment and emotionality, is infinitely more appropriate in taking care of the world and the sentient beings in it than the relative mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red, yellow, white, green, blue. All interconnected to the 5 elements. It cannot be separate. There is no such thing as separation when it comes to these states of awareness. To activate this process tonight, we're going to do a practice that involves the 3 lights meditation with the 3 tantric sounds used in shamanistic Lamaism that connects us to the mind of the Lama for all sutra and all tantric method, all yoga practice. And the first of these is attached to the inhale. So when you inhale, you do the same thing as the 5 elements, 3 lights, is the white light coming into your lungs fills the lungs and you hear the sound Om, the vibration of that. Then the energy of being extracted spontaneously and passed through your body is the red light absorption breath, and you hear the sound of energy, Ah. That's this sound. Then those 2 together are used for healing purposes to alleviate the pain and suffering of infinite sentient being, who are all integrated into you. Is the blue light being exhaled out your nose, you hear the sound Hum. Now these 3 sounds bring the 5 elements and all 5 dhyana Buddhas, 5 higher states of awareness, together as a transmission from the body, speech, and mind of the Lama, the Guru, into you. So we're going to do that. With this, then we will start to perform the Vajrasattva practice. Sit with your back straight, eyes gazing to the space in front, mouth closed, hands in a comfortable position on the knees or in the lap, head slightly tilted forward. Breathe. As you inhale, white light fills your lungs, hear the sound Om. The middle breath is the absorption breath that penetrates every cell in your body with these elements. Hear the sound Ah. Then bring these 2 sounds color-coded together and visualize blue light being exhaled out your nose to space, to all beings in space. Hear the sound Hum. This one sound represents all of the awarenesses and all of the healing methods available in our tradition, to the benefit of infinite sentient beings, our mothers, everywhere. Again, inhale white light filling your lungs, hear the sound Om. Absorption breath through your body, every cell vibrating Ah. Bring these color codes together with those two sounds. Exhaling blue light out the nose. Hum. The hum is a vibration of the mind's energy called the Dharmakaya, or the all-pervasive nature of your awareness, both on the relative level and the ultimate level. Then we start the empowerment of the Vajrasattva practice, so that with this transmission of the body, speech, and mind of the teacher, the guru, he or she, all of that takes place within you to perform this extraordinary practice. Visualize the teacher, whoever you have as a root guru. It could be Lama Tashi or the Dalai Lama or any powerful Lama like Karmapa, whoever's your main teacher. See that person sitting in front of you, life-size. Visualize white light from the Lama's head comes into your head. Hear the sound Om. Red light from the Lama's throat into your throat. Hear the sound Ah. Blue light from the heart chakra of the Lama in front into your heart chakra. Hear the sound Om. The first empowerment is to be the deity. The second empowerment is to perform with the speech of energizing your mind and area situation with your voice, like for mantra. And the blue hum is the wisdom of how to develop and evolve into higher and higher states of intelligence or awareness. Then the fourth empowerment is the Lama is visualized merging into you. They say like water into water. With this empowerment, you see the three lights in your central channel. The white Om in the center of your head, the Ah in your throat, and the Hum in your heart center. Visualize the white Om move down the central channel and merge with the Ah. These two together merge with the Hum. And the Hum becomes the sound, in this case, of the Lama as the deity. So the Hum will be in the heart center of the male deity, and we're doing Vajrasattva Yab Yum. So they're both Tara Chenrezi, Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini. He's the blue Hum, only I would say visualize it white, and her C syllable for space, Vam or Bam in Tibetan. And this is a tanka of the two deities. I don't know if that helped. Not very much, huh? Yeah, that's better. Male and female deity in sexual union is called Yab Yum in Tibet. Now, the female can be any color of deity according to your needs or application, white, red, green, yellow, or blue. But tonight we're going to be both. Here is shown white with red. That's the fire dakini. Tonight we're going to use both white. So the blue horn becomes a white horn, and the bomb, as is shown here with the red background, above your head. And the Vam is in the handle of the bell with a Vajra handle, and the Hum is in the center of the Vajra of indestructible nature of the 5 elements and 5 Dhyana Buddha awarenesses merging together in you, which is this Tigri. So the bell and dorje appear above your head with the Vam and Hum, then they disappear as the energy of all of the lineage masters come in, and then the Vam and the Hum creates the deities as shown here in this place. Then when we do the 100-syllable mantra, it connects those 2 seed syllables, fills the deities with light, and the light from their place of union pours down into the Uma, which we visualize towards the back of the head, down through the head chakra, filling it, then the throat chakra, then the heart chakra, navel chakra, sex chakra. Then as the body fills with the bliss energy of the deities, all negative tendencies pushed out through the pores and orifices of the body. And on the surface of the body, it sluices off down into the earth and becomes food or nectar for the animals and spirits living in the earth. Lama Rinchen said when I did that to visualize infinite nagas which inhabit the earth, receiving this all the way through the earth. So nothing is wasted. All your negative becomes nectar. And when you perform this visualization here, you're connecting to every lineage of Tibetan Buddhism, because all lamas do this practice. And all of the preceding masters, all the way back to Shakyamuni Buddha, 2,600 years ago. All of that energy to deal with your negative tendencies, obstructions, we say inclinations, emotional conflict, judgment, all of that you've been placing in your body since birth in previous lives. Now, out of the body, down into the earth. As you do this practice, sound the 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasattva and include Vajrayogini at the starting point. Om Vajrayogini, then Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tikta Drito Mebawa, Suto Kayo Mebawa, Supo Kayo Mebawa, Anurakto Mebawa, Sarwar Siddhi Memchayatsa, Sarwar Karma Sutsame, Sitsam Sriyam Kuru Hom, Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sarwar Tathagata, Vajra Mame Munsa, Vajra Bhava, Maha Samaya, Sattva Ah. Again, the 2 deities above your head in union, Vam in the heart center, Hum in his heart center, all connecting with this mantra, 100-syllable mantra, spiraling through their forms, filling them with light. Then from their union, you start to fill with light as a result. All negative out of the body, however you want to think of that, down into the earth, transformed into nectar for the spirits and animals in the earth. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Denupa Dikshati Mebawa Surtokayo Mebawa Subokayo Mebawa Anurakto Mebawa Sarvasi Memtrayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Guru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Dinoba Dikta Jita Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantrayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Sitsam Shriyam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Maha Samaya Sattva Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Dikta Jita Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantra Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitsam Shriya Guru Aho Bhagawan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Maha Samaya Sattva Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Dikta Jita Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Vimtrayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Sitsam Shriyam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Maha Samaya Sattva Using this for purification of your inherent tendencies, have confidence that they are being removed from your situation and regenerated as nectar into the earth below you. With the sound of this mantra and the visualization of the deities performing. Inseparable from your guru. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Sattva Denoba Dikta Jita Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantrayatsa Sarva Karma Sutsame Sitsam Shriyam Guru Hom Ha Ho Bhagawan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Maha Samaya Sattva Now when you can see these two deities above your head clearly, Vajrasattva either behind the back like this, or with the bell resting on and the Vajra behind like this. She has a skull cup and knife behind his head. She is wrathful and he is peaceful. He represents all the Sutra tradition. She represents all the Tantric tradition of the protective deity. Both together perform this purification with you sounding the mantra. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Dikta Jita Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denoka Vajrito Me Bhava Sudokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantraya Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sissam Shriyam Guru Sarva Tata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhavama Samaya Sattva. Now the purification is actually being caused by the unconditional nature of your mind, which is the higher and highest states of awareness with no ceiling, being the deity's function to remove these harmful tendencies and transform them into something useful for sentient beings in the earth under you. This fulfills the whole form of the Refuge Prayer, not only the motivation, but also the 6 deities prayer, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Lama, deity protectors, the 6 refuges, and also the 6 Bodhisattva practices are all in play. That's what this mantra is saying. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopa Tikta Jito Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sissam Shriyam Guru Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Vajramaya Sattva Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopa Tikta Jito Me Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantrayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sissam Shriyam Guru Om Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Vajrabhavama Samaya Sattva Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denopa Tikta Jito Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sissam Shriyam Guru Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhavama Samaya Sattva. Now all of this program, this method, emanates from the Buddha Aksobhaya, which is the one on the shrine behind me. And this Buddha symbolizes no separation of anything. High, low, good, bad, inside, outside, future, past, any kind of judgment, good or bad, as I said, all purified. But that Buddha field represents that everything in this universe, every individual is interconnected to you, both as a motive for the practice and support to you. Knowing that, we can visualize that Buddha Aksobhaya with hand in the earth touching gesture, and the left hand in the lap in meditation posture, above the head of Vajrasattva and Vajragini, and he is white or blue. Since we're using the deities in white for clarity, we'll symbol the Buddha Aksobhaya white. You can add that to your visualization of this practice or not. It's where it comes from.
So they both have the mudras of...
He's either this way or just the bell and dorji
But when they're in union, don't they both have their
Yeah,
union?
you're holding
mudras?
Bell and Dorje
Okay.
in this mudra. And then she has it behind his head, the skull cup and
They're crossed.
knife. Yeah, behind his head.
Okay.
She is wrathful, he is peaceful. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Dinopa Dita Jito Me Bhava Suto Gayo Me Bhava Supo Gayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memjayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sittam Shriyam Guru Om Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mas Samaya Sattva Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Ya Vajrasattva Dinopa Tika Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memjaya Sutta Me Sittam Shriya Guru Om Raho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Vajra Ma Samaya Sattva Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Vajrasattva Dinopa Tika Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memjayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sittam Shriya Guru Om Raho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Vajra Ma Samaya Sattva and as this remedy starts to alleviate your pent up emotional program, conflicting emotional program, then you start to feel more blissful, more lighter in your body, and more relaxed, more at peace with yourself, and also more present in doing all of these various practices. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Dinopa Tita Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memjaya Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sittam Shriya Guru Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Samaya Sattva Now, if you're doing this for counting 111,111 recitations of the long mantra to what we call not only accumulate merit, but put this into full function, and it's an ongoing practice, then you use the mala, and you can say it at a little faster pace. And also you can use the clock. For instance, when you get rolling with this mantra, 1 hour would be about 300 recitations of this long mantra. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Dinopa Tika Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memjayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sittam Shriya Guru Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Dinopa Tika Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Memjayasa Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sittam Shriya Guru Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutsa Vajra Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Dinopa Tika Jito Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Sarva Karma Sutta Me Sittam Shriyam Guru Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Samaya Sattva. So as you notice in this mantra prayer, which is called a Dharani, you start with Om, and at some point the Hum appears, and it ends with Ah. So those three letters are the Om, Ah, Hum of your body, speech, and mind. Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha, of all the gurus or teachers, all the lineage masters, all the Sangha that practices this in Tibetan Buddhism. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Denopa Tikta Jvino Me Bhava Sudokaya Subhokayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantra Yasa Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Sitsam Shriyam Ko Hom Ha Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Samaya Sattva. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasattva Denopa Tita Judo Me Bhava Sudokaya Subhokayo Me Bhava Anurakta Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Mantra Yasa Sarva Karma Sitsa Me Sitsam Shriya Guru Hom Ha Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Samaya Sattva. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manopalaya The bell brings all the Dakinis, the Vajra brings all the male deities, Dakas, peaceful and protector. And the mala represents the 100 deities and their consorts, and the practice of the mala, using a mala, is actually for accumulating or accomplishing the practice. As I said before, saying this mantra 111,111 times. The first time I performed this with Kala Rinpoche, the Lama Rinpoche's advice, it took a year and a half. So there's no hurry. Then as many times as you say the long mantra, then when you're ready to finish the practice, visualize Vajrasattva Vajrayogini move down into you. Then your ordinary body disappears and you become these two deities. The connecting mantra for this part of the practice is the short mantra, Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Mam Hum. And you say that short mantra, being these two deities, as many times, at least as many times as you said the long mantra in this session. So do that. They dissolve down into you, you become the deities. You meditate that this Vam and Hum are in their heart centers. The short mantra connecting. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Mam Hum. 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 Om Vajragini, Om Om Vajragini Vajrasattva 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 Om Pei. When you finish with Pei, in Tibetan it's spelled P-E with a slash over the E-A. It's the ah with the, we say with the Guru's force to cut any kind of negative, conflicting emotional program that identifies you having a self existing separately from everything and everybody else. That's the cutting mantra, called a dispelling negativity sound. Sometimes you can perform it with the clap of the hands in front of your heart. Hey. Then outer obscurations go away, disappear. And this mudra, the clap of the hands, and this mantric sound Pei at the end of the mantra is called a dispelling force or power. Om Vajrasattva Vajragini Mam Om Pei. With that, the deities disappear into their seed souls. The Vam and the Hum merge together and disappear in five-colored light into space, either to the totality of space, which is boundless, or contract in your heart center into the particle merging with space. Either way, infinite potential. Then you rest in what is called the accomplishment stage of this practice, with no meditation, no visualization. You simply stay present, and as you did with the 5 elements practice, connect to the infinite light and the totality of boundless space. Take that to heart. At the end of this stage, called the accumulation stage of Tantric practice, resting in voidness, like space, you're connecting to the true nature of your consciousness, stated as ultimately true. And even though I didn't mention it in starting the practice or at the end of the practice, that when you are doing these sutra or tantric practices, whatever deity you are practicing, Tara, Chenrezig, in this case, Vajrasattva, Vajrayogini, every sentient being in the universe is doing the same thing you are. And especially when you do the short mantra, Om Vajrasattva Vajrayogini, project that to your mother, relatives, friends, lovers, people that have problems with you, hate you, and so forth, adversaries, enemies. Every sentient being, animal, human, spirit, becomes the deity in sutra and tantric practice. That is Mahayana Buddhism to the max. And that on its own evolves into the tantric position of the all-pervasive nature of your mind becoming the Dharmakaya, the nature of the Guru's mind, all-pervading. Then that causes the compassion aspect, the deity, to appear as the bliss energy of the Guru's mind. That's whatever deity practice you're doing, starting with Chenrezig and Tara, then all the peaceful deities and all the protective deities and Dakini. Then those two together are the teachers, body, speech, and mind, of loving kindness, compassion, power, and insight that you are starting to evolve in that energy program out of the growing and developing stage into the evolution stage of higher and higher states of awareness and intelligence. And there's no ceiling to that. So when we speak of evolution in our tradition, there's no goal or boundary. It has its results as you perform it, moment to moment, day to day. So tonight we have a practice we're going to perform called Tong Lin, taking and sending with the breath. And it's based on this sutra tradition of Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, and it's also in the Tantric tradition of the Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya mind of the Guru, or deity. And what it is you use your breath to alleviate the pain and suffering of what is occurring in present time. So on this planet, infinite pain and suffering is taking place. 8 billion humans, infinite animals and spirits in the environment, and the spirit world totally riled because of our destruction of our natural resources. So the result is this. For instance, here in Hawaii, travelers for hundreds of years have bring all forms of sickness and disease to Hawaii and caused many, many problems in our present situation and past situation with the Hawaiians. So we're going to do taking and sending with virus. If you want to be specific, there are 71 million viruses, but only a few are causing immense problems in the human condition on our planet today. And the main one is called COVID-19, but we want to take the negative results of this and the millions of people that are being harmed and dying from this, like black light, inhale all of that into your heart center of infinite compassion. Disappear it, gone. Then from your heart center, white light to all beings that have this karmic situation with virus specifically. Purified, no problem, all physically, mentally, emotionally, and most importantly, spiritually clear, liberated, free, protected, however you want to think of that. You can apply this antidote to your relatives, friends, lovers, pets, individually to whoever, to groups, any number of humans, any number of animals and so forth, spirit, or just the totality of what's taking place globally. Inhale black light into your lungs, disappear all that negative karma. You're the Bodhisattva, no problem. Exhale white light back to all sentient beings, no problem. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All your mothers. Inhale. Exhale. We know what's happening. Visualize all that in. Disappear it into your heart center. Gone. Exhale white light back to all sentient beings that have a karmic disposition to this situation. Clear. Totally healthy, all levels of health. Inhale. Exhale. Stay totally present, mindful. No judgment. No good or bad, no high or low. It's just a function of Bodhisattva training school. Inhale. Exhale. This is based on the highest states of intelligence available to the human mind, based on loving kindness and altruistic compassion. Unconditional love. It's a learned app. You can include all the ones that have been taken by this millions of humans. Inhale black light into your lung. White light to all of them, no anger over it, no emotionality because of it, wherever they find themselves. And black light, all the ones in every city, every country, every area of this planet into your heart chakra. Disappear. No judgment. Exhale white light to everyone on the planet today. Every man, woman, and child. If you want to be your yidam while doing this practice, it's okay, but not necessary. We're all interconnected. That's it. We're all evolving. We're all Buddhas already. We're all equal. And we're all becoming more and more intelligent, evolving. Inhale black light, all negativity, all harm, all war, famine, disease, poverty, environmental destruction, the spread of toxin, any kind of abusive nature in the human condition, all in my black light. Exhale white light, all liberated. There's no wrong way to do this practice. Taisittu Rinpoche, my teacher, he wrote a book, Way to Go. Half of the practice was Bodhisattva training. The other half of the book was all the various ways to use this simple practice of taking and sending with the breath called Tong Len. All the lamas in Tibetan Buddhism recommend it. Then the results of all your virtuous practice dedicated to the well-being of all animals, humans, and spirits in the whole universe, wherever they exist, whatever situation. Kewa di nudu da, shagya chenpo jugir ne, chowa chenking malu pa, te yi sala go parsho, sanjay kusu nimpai jim la tong, choni megur nimpai jim la tong, gendu niche du pai jim la ki, chi dargo wa mon lam ju parsho. By this virtue, having realized Mahamudra, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in that state of awareness. By the blessings of the three bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of this Dharma being unchanging, by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha. That's us, being unwavering. May this and all dedication prayers, Tashi prayer, and auspicious prayers be accomplished. May all beings be happy, free of suffering, and through our practice established in bliss and equanimity.